Hey folks, in this video I'm going to revisit my Horizon Express. Currently I have one motor in the front and one motor in the back, and recently someone made a comment on a previous Horizon Express video asking why I hadn't just put two motors in the front engine. So my reasoning for that is I wanted one motor pulling and one motor pushing. The magnets on these trains aren't terribly strong, and in order to keep the train together, because this is a fairly heavy train because it's brick built, and I wanted a pushing force as well as a pulling force. But that got me to thinking that there is actually enough space to put two motors in the front and it won't change the aesthetics, the way it looks or anything like that. So I bought two more motors, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this running with four motors in total. Now I did test four motors running with an IR receiver and a battery, and that does work, but that's with no load. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the already reversed motor from the rear engine to the front engine. That's due to the fact that there's not enough space for one of these. And one of these, this is a power functions sort of reversing switch, so I can change the direction of the motor manually, but there isn't enough space in the actual engine itself. It's going to be full of wires and cables, which is why I've previously just reversed the motor manually by opening it up, reversing wires, and then putting it back together again. So I'll move this motor to there, and then I'll install these two extra motors into the rear engine. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. First up, I'm going to remove the motor from the rear car and place it into the front engine over here. So first up, I need to unplug it. Take that out as well. And that's unplugged. Okay, so that's the modified engine where the wires are actually switched inside. Put that aside. Actually, while we're here, I think I'll put these two motors on and the power function switch. Place it actually side, so I'll take this false bogey off here. One thing I need is the magnet and the buffers. So I put that on like that. Place that underneath. One thing I need to make sure that happens is this cable. There. So there we go. And I'll also take this one. Place the motor in there, so that's both motors now in the rear car. And of course I need the switch, so the switch is now going on. I'm going to place it on this motor here. I'll find out which way it needs to go once it's all plugged in. This will be running back to the receiver all the way at the front of the train. And because there's no battery, there's loads of room in there, so I can just place the cables in like so. Just need to put this on top, put the roof on, and there we go. We've got two motors going on in there. I may have to flip that reverse switch possibly in case it's going the wrong direction, but hopefully that's correct. So I'll just switch them over again. And now it's putting this motor in the front. Now the trouble with the front motor in the front is space, because we've already got a battery in there, so there's not really much room for cables. So, and there's already sort of the extension cable coming from the back. There's the lights, and there's a motor there already. So it's going to be a tight fit. I'll take this off first of all. I just need to remove the battery. Like I said, this is going to have a lot of cables in it, so this battery takes up a lot of space, and this is where all the cables in the rear car are sitting. So I need to take the IR receiver off, make some space there. Now this is the rear extension cable, and then this is the motor and lights that are in the unit at the moment. Here's the other motor. Just take off this. Unpowered. So you put that on there, so the motor's there. Slip the cable through. Can we do it? Can we do it? There we go. Place the motor on the back there. So that's both motors in. Of course, we have to get this to fit. So now it's just a case of trying to fit all these cables into the front of this train. Yeah, I'm going to use this extension just to sit under there, and hopefully these cables can fit. This is going to be one of the fiddliest installations. Scrunch all the cables together so that there is enough room for the battery. Okay, that's the battery in and the IR receiver in, finally. It took a little bit of time. Okay, there we go. Just double check that this is going to work. I nearly lost it off the table. Okay, so that's working, which is good. We'll put this on like so. And then I need to build a track around Dunkton because it's only a little bit at the moment, but I'll get something together and we can test it. Okay, so I've set up a track around Dunkton, so there is a full track with a really temporary bridge, even more temporary than my normal temporary bridges. And I've also used the incline pieces that I got from TrixBricks. If you don't know who TrixBricks are, I'll put a link down below to their YouTube channel. They do 3D printed parts and some of them are inclines. Now I will say this is a pretty aggressive incline for this train, and I wouldn't expect it to do it sort of like with just the 2-motor setup that I had. I did run it around the track just to check that everything was okay with the track, so there were no accidents, and yeah, it does need a bit of a run up, but if you watch this then we'll start it from the station and see how it does. So there you go. I think that's a pretty convincing test. It does need a bit of a run up, but it does go up the slope and it's controllable as well. One thing I have noticed is it's not wheel spinning at all. So it's got full traction all the way along. That's something that I wouldn't see I wouldn't expect to see in sort of like the high-speed passenger train. It would sort of like at least slip, at least if it had the 2 motors, and that's I mean that's a fairly light train anyway. But yeah, there's no wheel spinning on this one, and it's got a lot more power, I think. I don't know how long the battery's going to last. It's going to suck the life out of the battery, but that's a fully charged, rechargeable battery as well. So there you go. That's the Horizon Express with 4 motors, 2 lights, and all running through 1 IR receiver powered by 1 battery. So there you go. I think that's a success anyway. We'll see how it runs on a bigger layout once I get another track setup going. I'm not sure when the next big track setup's going to be, because I need to focus on building my mock engines for Philly Brickfest, and I'm trying to build Dunkton as well, which yeah, if you check me out on Instagram, you'll be able to see some pictures of that. So there you go. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. So yeah, I will see you in the next one.